Alright everybody, so here's that video I promised. As I'm a console plebe, unfortunately I can't show you any gameplay at the moment. But I can go over what I've learned today from watching and studying the new killer on the PTB. The new chapter PTB is out on PC, for those of you who don't know, but I'm sure all of you do. And our new killer is called the Death Slinger. So it wasn't exactly what we were expecting. He, essentially, I don't know his lore at the moment, I haven't dug too much into it, but he was essentially a bounty hunter. And this killer is very interesting in the way of he actually uses a gun. More specifically, a modified rifle which shoots a harpoon, which he uses to pull survivors to him on a chain. He's a 110 killer with 24 meter terror radius, which, as I'll explain as we go through the video, is not something I think is a good idea. And while the video is going, I'll be trying to get my Archives challenge to get 2 protection hits. So, like I said, he shoots a harpoon gun. He aims down crosshairs, and he can press the attack button to fire. And if he hits the survivor, he'll start pulling them towards him. You can hold down the power button, the aim down sight button, to start cranking them towards you. Now the survivors are going to be trying to struggle against the chain and try to get an object between you and them, because if you do that, the chain starts glowing red and the break free meter starts going faster and faster. That way it makes it easier for them to escape. If they escape, the chain will break, the killer will get stunned for, I don't know exactly how long, I think it's like 2 or 3 seconds. It's a decently long stun. And the survivor will get injured and inflicted with deep wound. You can use a basic attack during this if you know the chain's going to break and you're not going to reach them, to break the chain and avoid the stun. However, the survivor will not get injured as a result. And if you manage to get the survivor to you, it basically does the same as the chain breaking. Only difference is when they get close, you use a lunge or basic attack, smack the survivor, they get deep wound and injured, and then if you want to shoot another harpoon, you have to do a channel to reload because he only has 1 bullet. So that's essentially how this killer's power has some issues, but it's also, I mean, it's a very cool power, don't get me wrong, and the sound effects on him are all pretty cool, but his power comes with an issue that I think they need to address, because he can shoot the chain up to 18 meters. That's his maximum range. It has a slight bullet delay, so you have to aim it slightly ahead of where the survivor is going to be. His hitbox is extremely strict compared to Huntress, so you have to be on your target. And the problem comes with this. He is very good at punishing windows, much like Huntress, because you can pull them to the window, and then you can smack them to the window. But when it comes to, say, a pallet, if there's a pallet between you and the survivor, unless it's a pretty safe, unsafe loop, and you're able to go around the short end before the chain breaks, you physically cannot do anything to that survivor, you know, getting them with the chain, because you'll have a pallet between you and them, and there's nothing you can do about that except cancel the interaction, or eat the stun and let them take the damage. And that's another thing, the chain, when they break off, I think no matter what, will give them a sprint burst as if they got hit. So that's also kind of a problem, especially if you let the chain stun you. So you really got to choose which you would prefer, because canceling the chain is usually, it doesn't seem like it's all that great most of the time, unless you're able to use the chain to get close. That way you can catch up with his 110 speed, which brings me to my problem. I don't think he is worthy of 110 speed, because basically he functions a lot like the Huntress. He has the same weaknesses as Huntress in the form of no map pressure, and he's more map dependent, but he's only good at punishing windows or survivors that are out in the open. Now there is some benefits. When you use the chain to bring someone in, it is a basic attack you do to damage them, so he can proc exposed effects and anything that procs off a basic attack on it. But he also has the problem of, based on the way his power works, he doesn't have very many good perk synergies to go with his power. Like I said, exposed works decently well with him, but even then, that's kind of a niche thing to begin with. There aren't that many that like good exposed perks. Oh yes, and now for his teachables, do forgive me, I don't quite remember the names of one or two of them. The first one I believe is called Gearhead, and after you land 2 basic attacks, the perk activates for, I think it's like 45 seconds at rank 3, and any generators that where a survivor completes a good or a great skill check during the duration of that time, the generator will be highlighted. So basically it's kind of like reverse, it's kind of like backwards surveillance. Then there's his second perk, I think it's called like Dead Man's Trigger or something, and how that works is when you hook your obsession, the perk activates for 45 seconds, and during that time, if a survivor lets go of the gen will be blocked off for the rest of the duration of that perk's activation. So, okay. But then there's one I'm actually kind of excited for. Hex Retribution. Hex Retribution is a hex perk, obviously. And how it works is, every time a survivor cleanses a dull totem, and this is at rank 3, they gain the Oblivious status effect for 45 seconds. And if they cleanse a hex totem, every survivor on the map has their aura revealed for 10 seconds. So obviously this will synergize very well with perks like Haunted Grounds. It's like they go together like peanut butter and jelly. It takes the one downside of Haunted Grounds and makes it a lot better. Allows you to actually get some snowball off it. And it could also be really good with perks like Devour Hope. I'm actually quite excited to try out that one. I might actually try to make a hex build just for the lulz, because I always wanted to make a build with Devour Hope, but it's like, ugh, it's just so hard to get a hex build to work, especially nowadays. I'll briefly go over the new survivor. I forget her name right off the top of my head. What is it, Zarina or something like that? Yeah, it's something with a Z. And her perks are Off the Record, which whenever you're unhooked for 80 seconds, you will have no grunts of pain and you're immune to all forms of aura reading. Pretty damn good perk. I think some people are undervaluing just how good it is, but it's going to be kind of annoying if it starts becoming a commonplace perk. It's going to make barbecue even worse. Nurses calling, all that. For the survivor side, though, it's good because it keeps the killer from being able to easily find you if they come back to the hook, and you can heal without having to worry about a nurse's calling procs giving you away. Red Herring is her next one. Essentially, when she works on a generator for 3 seconds, she can leave that generator, and whenever she enters this deactivates if she activates another gen. If she goes and works on another gen, or yeah. But after 3 seconds, the perk activates, and the next time you get into a locker, the perk will send a noise notification to the killer as if the gen had exploded, the gen that you were working on. So basically it's like diversion on steroids. It could actually have some interesting viability there. And then her last perk, I believe it's called For the People or something. It's something like that. And essentially how it works is, at max rank, you can trade. If you're in if you're at fully healthy state, you can go up to a survivor who is downed on the floor or injured, and you can give them 1 health state in exchange for putting yourself into the broken status effect for 90 seconds. So, pretty powerful perk, that one. I think the survivors have a lot of good perks to play, are going to have, like, pretty much all the perks on this new survivor seem like they're pretty solid. So the survivors will have some decent perks to play with this time. As for the killer, I honestly think Gearhead's kind of niche, strictly because it requires basic attacks, and not all killers are basic attack oriented. The M1 killers will be able to use it just fine, but killers like Hillbilly and who else am I thinking of right now? I guess it's Demogorgon. Yeah, Demogorgon, because he wants to use his shred as much as possible. Essentially, any killer that relies pretty heavily on using their abilities to secure downs and stuff that doesn't count as basic attacks, especially like it won't be that good on. I mean, at least it's only 2 basic attacks, so it's not the worst thing ever. And it appears this guy has, what's it called? Looks to, oh, how did he, oh, did he get flashlight saved? Oh, there he goes. That was weird. That was an Oni, wasn't it? Unless I'm hallucinating and it was just a clown. That confused the heck out of me. My kindred will tell me the truth. So as for the Deathslinger, like I said, my main gripe with him at the moment, he's a really cool killer, but his 110 movement speed is going to hold him back severely. Oh wow, he got off the shoulder again. What the hell's going on with this guy? Maybe I can get over there in time to body block. Fuck. Well, I'm dead. Oh, maybe not. Cool, cool, cool. So, Clown has no idea where I went. That's fine by me for right now. I'm gonna try to save this guy as soon as he leaves. I'm gonna make sure he's gone, though. He's lingering around an awful lot. Oh, shit, he saw me. Alright, so he's after me now. No problem, no problem. Why does everyone just use the head? Unless there's just a lot of people who don't have it. But yeah, you can see the obvious problems with Deathslinger. He can't, his injuries is not inflicted by the gunshot itself, it's only inflicted by the, oh shit, why did I not vault? Gee, game, thanks. Could have sworn I was lined up to that window perfectly. Oh, did he lose me? No. Oh wow, that got me. Alright, well, fair enough, I'm distracted and I've been trying to get greedy with these protection hits. I swear, when I try to actually get protection hits, it doesn't want to fucking make it easy for me. Oh well. I'll give it a go after I get this. So what was I saying? Oh yes. The chain itself doesn't do any injuries. It has to be the attack itself, or you have to stun yourself and make the chain break in order to do it. Which, like I said, stuns you and gives the survivor a speed burst, which for a 110 killer is not good. He has no mobility of any kind, so he has no map pressure. His ability has an 18-meter range, which isn't bad, but it's also not very good, and it's pretty limited for a killer that can't, you know, that doesn't have any good map pressure, especially when it can only really punish windows. It can't punish safe pallets very well, because if you just drop the pallet early, he's forced to just loop you around as a 110 killer, and that's just not going to work out for you. It just will not. So I don't know where Clowny Boy is. Oh well. I'll use my resilience to do some gens. Or maybe I'm gonna probably die because I don't know where the clown is. And he's running right toward me. Yeah. Alright, no problem. And I couldn't see where I'm going, walked into a dead zone, and that is death for me. Alright, thankfully I had God Pallet. Now what? You wasted all that time, Clown. You didn't even have Bamboozle. You're gonna lose too much time if you just continue to chase me. Oh, that was a good throw, though. I give you this. Now what? Oh. I effed up. Nope, maybe I didn't. Let's just throw this pallet early and just keep running, because I didn't realize he was reloading till just now. Alright, is he gonna give up? No, it does not appear he is going to. Fuck. Oh. Ah. Wow. Well, I tried. It was a good chase, though. So I guess I'm not getting my protection hit. I can't even keep myself alive. Anyhow, yeah. I think that the Deathslinger should be just moved up to 115 speed. Or they need to make it to where his chain itself can injure. That way he can... That way he still gains something for landing a hit. Or, you know, they could do what one person suggested, and I kind of think the idea has some merit. They could take one of his add-ons. Oh, well, I'm gonna get tunneled. Okay, well, Clown's tired of my shit. Clown's tired of my bullshit. I got nowhere to go. Alright, good job, Clown. I guess I'll have to try again for my challenge. He's just gonna hook me. You lost the game, Clown, but I guess you got to tunnel me down, so it was worth it, wasn't it? This is why some days I regret taking off DS, but you know, I wanted to challenge myself a little bit. But this is what happens if you're even remotely good at chasing, and you just get tunneled down by some of these people. But yeah, I won't let this video drag on too long, because I want to focus on my challenges, and it's not really much else I can say on the matter. He's actually a very simple killer, and there's not a whole lot of intricacy to his power. But, you know, it's still early days. Day one, he's not looking like he's too great, but maybe my mind will change, you know, despite the naysayers who will say, oh, well, it's just day one, you have no, or you're not on PT, you don't have any right to an opinion. It's like, yeah, well, I'm more than capable of seeing what a killer is capable of, because I've been playing this game for more than a minute, and I've seen what happens when a killer is given certain limitations. And we saw what happened with Legion. The devs thought he was worthy of 110 movement speed, let's not forget. He's 115 movement speed, and he's still not good, so that goes to tell you a lot. Anyhow. I encourage you guys, if you guys are on PC, go try out the PTB. Let me know if you guys have found anything different based off what I've said. There's not really... I mean, I could list off all his pros and cons, but at the moment, like I said, he's very simple. His benefits are far outweighed by his negatives, I think, at the moment. And whether they give him... You know, whether they give him 115 speed, or they extend his chain range, or heck, I'd be okay with making it to where if he gets you from a certain range with his harpoon, he can insta-down you. That would be kind of neat. But all in all, we can't really say much more on the matter until we see more PTB testing. So I'll conclude this video right here. I hope you all found it a bit informative, and I hope you enjoyed watching me get bodied by that clown. I'm sorry it's brief, and I know it's a bit scattered, but, you know, like I said, in my previous videos, I'm busy with moving, and I'm trying to get this, and I just wanted to get this video out for you guys, because I promised I'd get you guys some information. Anyhow, I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace.